Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went there? Or maybe you found yourself struggling to remember the name of someone you've known for years. If you're over 50, you've probably noticed these little memory slips happening more often. And if you're like most people, you might be wondering, is this just normal aging? Or is something else going on? The truth is, memory loss isn't always about getting older. Sometimes it's about the hidden things we do every single day without even realizing they re-affecting our brain health. Today, we're going to uncover 5 surprising causes of memory loss that most seniors don't know about. And the best part, once you know what they are, you can actually do something about them. Welcome to Ambition Focus, where we help you live your healthiest, most vibrant life at every age. I'm so glad you're here today, because what we're going to talk about matters. Memory is precious. It's how we hold on to our favorite moments, stay connected with loved ones, and maintain our independence as we age. But here's the thing. A lot of the advice out there focuses on obvious factors like dementia or Alzheimer's disease. And while those are important topics, they're not the whole story. There are everyday habits and lifestyle factors that quietly chip away at your memory, often without you even noticing. Small things that seem harmless, things you might do every single day. The good news, these hidden causes are often reversible. That means you have more control over your brain health than you might think. Over the next 20 minutes, we're going to walk through 5 of these hidden memory thieves. I'll explain what they are, why they matter, and most importantly, what you can do about them. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Your brain will thank you for it. Let's start with something that affects almost everyone at some point. Sleep! Now, you might be thinking, I know sleep is important, and you're right. But what you might not realize is just how deeply poor sleep affects your memory, especially as you get older. Here's what happens. When you sleep, your brain does something incredible. It takes all the information you gathered during the day and files it away. Sort of like organizing a filing cabinet. This process is called memory consolidation, and it mostly happens during deep sleep. But as we age, our sleep patterns change. Many seniors spend less time in that deep, restorative sleep stage. Maybe you wake up multiple times during the night. Maybe you have trouble falling asleep in the first place. Or perhaps you think you're sleeping fine, but you're not getting the quality of sleep your brain really needs. When you don't get enough deep sleep, your brain can't properly store memories. It's like trying to save a document on your computer. But the save button doesn't work. The information just ... disappears. And here's the kicker. Poor sleep doesn't just affect your ability to remember new things. It also makes it harder to recall memories you already have. So, those moments when you can't remember where you put your keys, that might not be a memory problem at all. It might be a sleep problem. Let's talk about sleep apnea for a moment. This is a condition where your breathing actually stops and starts while you're sleeping. It's more common in seniors than most people realize. And because it disrupts your sleep cycle, it can seriously impact your memory. The scary part, many people don't even know they have it. They just think they're light sleepers or that waking up tired is normal, but it's not. So what can you do about it? First, create a bedtime routine. Go to bed at the same time every night. Your brain loves consistency. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Consider it your sleep sanctuary. Avoid screens for at least an hour before bed. I know. That's a tough one. But the blue light from phones and tablets tells your brain it's daytime, which makes it harder to fall asleep. If you snore loudly or wake up gasping for air, talk to your doctor about sleep apnea. A simple sleep study can diagnose it, and treatment can be like. Remember, good sleep isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for a healthy memory. When you prioritize your sleep, You're prioritizing your brain. Alright, let's move on to something that has become all too common in our modern world. Chronic stress. We all deal with stress. It's part of life. But when stress becomes constant, when it's always there in the background, like white noise, it can do real damage to your memory. Here's why. When you're stressed, your body releases a hormone called cortisol. In small doses, cortisol is actually helpful. It's part of your body's natural alarm system. But when you're stressed all the time, your cortisol levels stay elevated. And high cortisol over long periods can actually shrink the part of your brain responsible for memory. It's called the hippocampus. Think about it this way. If you're constantly worried about finances, health problems, or family issues, your brain is always in fight or flight mode. It is so busy dealing with perceived threats that it doesn't have the resources to form and store memories properly. Have you ever noticed that when you're really stressed, you become forgetful? You lose track of conversations. You can't remember if you locked the door or turned off the stove. That's not a coincidence. Your stressed out brain is operating in survival mode, and memory takes a backseat. Anxiety works in a similar way. When you're anxious, your mind is racing. You're thinking about 100 different things at once. That makes it nearly impossible to focus on the present moment, which means you're not fully encoding memories in the first place. There's also something called worried well syndrome that affects a lot of seniors. This is when you're so anxious about developing memory problems that the anxiety itself causes forgetfulness. It's a frustrating cycle. So how do you break free from chronic stress and protect your memory? Start with deep breathing exercises. Just 5 minutes a day can make a difference. When you breathe slowly and deeply, you're telling your nervous system that it's safe to relax. This lowers your cortisol levels. Consider meditation or mindfulness practices. You don't have to sit cross-legged on a mountaintop. Even just paying attention to the present moment, without judgment, can help calm your mind. Stay connected with friends and family. Social support is one of the best stress busters there is. Sometimes, just talking about what's worrying, you can take away its power. And if your stress or anxiety feels overwhelming, please talk to a healthcare professional. There's no shame in getting help. In fact, it's one of the bravest and smartest things you can do. Your brain wasn't designed to live in a constant state of alarm. When you manage stress, you're giving your memory the peaceful environment it needs to thrive. Now let's talk about something that catches a lot of people off guard. Medications. If you're like many seniors, you might be taking several medications for different health conditions. Blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication, maybe something for arthritis or diabetes. These medications are important. They help you stay healthy and manage chronic conditions. But here's what many people don't realize. Some common medications can have side effects that affect your memory and thinking. And when you're taking multiple medications, these effects can add up. There's actually a class of medications called anticholinergics. I know, that's a mouthful. These are drugs that block a chemical messenger in your brain called This chemical is crucial for memory and learning. Some common anticholinergics include certain antihistamines, like the kind you might take for allergies, some medications for overactive bladder, certain sleep aids, even some medications for depression. Now, I'm not saying these medications are bad. They serve important purposes. But if you're taking them long-term, especially multiple anticholinergic medications at once, they can contribute to memory problems. There's also something called polypharmacy. This is a fancy term for taking many medications at the same time. The more medications you take, the higher the risk of interactions and side effects, including cognitive effects. Here's a common scenario. You see one doctor for your heart, another for your joints, maybe another for your sleep problems. Each prescribes something. But unless they're all communicating with each other, they might not realize you're taking 5 or 6 different medications that all have similar side effects. And sometimes, doctors prescribe a new medication to treat a side effect from another medication. Before you know it, you're in what's called a prescribing cascade. And somewhere in that cascade, your memory starts to suffer. Over-the-counter medications can be culprits too. Many people do you want think to mention their daily allergy pill or sleep aid to their doctor because they do you want need a prescription. But these can still affect your brain. So what should you do? First, make a complete list of everything you take. And I mean everything. Prescription medications, over-the-counter drugs, supplements, vitamins, everything. Bring this list to your doctor. Ask your doctor for a medication review. This is where they go through all your medications and check if you still need them. If there are alternatives with fewer cognitive side effects, and if any of them might be interacting with each other. Never stop taking a medication without talking to your doctor first, but don't be afraid to ask questions. Could this medication be affecting my memory? Is a perfectly reasonable question. Sometimes, switching to a different medication or adjusting the dose can make all the difference. Your doctor wants you to be healthy in every way, including cognitively. They just need to know what you're experiencing. Remember, medications are tools, and like any tool, they work best when used properly and reviewed regularly. Your memory matters, and your healthcare team needs to consider it in every treatment decision. Let's shift gears and talk about something you might not expect. Nutrition. Your brain is an incredible organ. It makes up only about 2% of your body weight, but it uses about 20% of your body's energy. That means it needs proper fuel to function well. And when it doesn't get the nutrients it needs, memory is one of the first things to suffer. One of the most common deficiencies in seniors is vitamin B12. This vitamin is essential for brain health. It helps maintain the coating around your nerve cells, which allows them to communicate properly. Without enough B12, those nerve signals get disrupted and your memory takes a hit. Here's the tricky part. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at absorbing B12 from food. So even if you're eating a decent diet, you might not be getting enough. Certain medications, like those for acid reflux or diabetes, can also interfere with B12 absorption. Early signs of B12 deficiency can look a lot like normal aging. Forgetfulness, confusion, difficulty concentrating. Many people don't realize they're deficient until it's caught on a blood test. Vitamin D is another important one. You might know it as the sunshine vitamin. Most people think of vitamin D for bone health, and that's true, but it's also crucial for brain function. Research has shown that low vitamin D levels are associated with increased risk of cognitive decline and memory problems. And here's the thing. Many seniors don't get enough sunlight, especially if they're staying indoors more often or live in northern climates. Plus, as we age, our skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight. Don't forget about omega-3 fatty acids. These are the healthy fats found in fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. Your brain is almost 60% fat, and it needs these omega-3s south to maintain healthy brain cells and support memory function. A lot of seniors don't eat enough fish, or they might have difficulty chewing or preparing it. That can lead to omega-3 deficiency, which can show up as memory problems, difficulty concentrating, and even mood changes. Dehydration is another sneaky culprit. You might not think of water as a nutrient, but staying hydrated is crucial for brain function. Older adults often don't feel thirsty as readily as younger people, so they might not drink enough water throughout the day. Even mild dehydration can affect your memory and concentration. Your brain is about 75% water. When you're dehydrated, your brain cells don't function as well. Everything becomes harder, including remembering things. So what's the solution? Start with a balanced diet, rich in colorful fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats. Think of every meal as an opportunity to nourish your brain. Consider getting your blood levels checked. Ask your doctor about testing for B12, vitamin D, and other important nutrients. If you're deficient, supplements can help, but it's important to know your levels first, because more isn't always better. Try to include fatty fish in your diet at least twice a week. If you don't like fish or can't eat it, Talk to your doctor about omega-3 supplements and drink water throughout the day. Keep a water bottle nearby. Set reminders if you need to. Don't wait until you're thirsty. Your brain literally is what you eat. When you feed it well, it rewards you with better memory, sharper thinking, and more energy. Finally, let's talk about something that's often overlooked but incredibly important. Social connection and mental stimulation. Humans are social creatures. We're wired for connection, and our brains thrive when we're engaged with other people and challenged with new experiences. But as we get older, social isolation becomes more common. Maybe you've retired and lost daily contact with coworkers. Maybe friends have moved away or passed away. Perhaps you have mobility issues that make it harder to get out and about, whatever the reason. When you spend a lot of time alone, your brain doesn't get the workout it needs. Social interaction is actually quite complex for your brain. You have to read facial expressions, understand tone of voice, remember conversation topics, respond appropriately. All of that keeps your brain sharp. Studies have shown that seniors who are socially isolated have a much higher risk of cognitive decline and memory problems. In fact, some research suggests that loneliness can be as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's a sobering thought. There's also the issue of mental stimulation. Your brain is like a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. When your daily routine becomes the same thing day after day. When you're not learning new things or challenging yourself, your brain starts to coast. Think about it. When was the last time you learned something completely new? When did you last have a conversation that made you think differently? When did you last solve a puzzle or problem that required real mental effort? If you're mostly sitting in front of the TV, following the same routine every day, having minimal conversation, your brain isn't getting the stimulation it needs to maintain strong memory and cognitive function. Now, this doesn't mean you need to go back to school or become a social butterfly overnight. Small changes can make a big difference. Join a club or group based on your interests. Book club, gardening club, church group, volunteer organization, whatever interests you. The key is regular social contact with people who share your interests. Learn something new. It doesn't have to be complicated. Maybe you've always wanted to learn to paint, or play an instrument, or speak another language. The process of learning creates new connections in your brain, which helps maintain memory function. Stay in touch with family and friends. Regular phone calls, video chats, or in-person visits all count. Even a 15-minute conversation can give your brain a boost. Consider getting a pet if you're able. Pets provide companionship, routine, and purpose. Plus, they give you something to talk about with other people, which can lead to more social connections. Challenge your brain with puzzles, games, or new hobbies. Crosswords, Sudoku, card games, jigsaw. These activities require concentration and problem solving, which keeps your memory sharp. Read books. Join online communities based on your interests. Take a class at your local community center or library. The point is to stay engaged. Stay curious. Stay connected. Your brain needs variety, challenge, and social interaction to stay healthy and maintain strong memory function. And here's something beautiful. When you reach out to others, you're not just helping yourself. You're helping them too. Social connection is a two-way gift. Let's take a moment to recap what we've covered today. We've explored 5 hidden causes of memory loss in seniors. Not the obvious ones everyone talks about, but the sneaky, everyday factors that can quietly affect your brain health. First, we talked about poor sleep quality. Remember, your brain needs deep, restorative sleep to properly store memories. If you're not sleeping well, your memory will suffer. Second, we discussed chronic stress and anxiety. When your body is constantly flooded with stress hormones, your memory-forming brain structures can actually shrink. Managing stress isn't just good for your mood. It's essential for your memory. Third, we covered medication side effects. Many common medications can affect your memory, especially when you're taking multiple drugs. A medication review with your doctor can help identify potential problems. Fourth, we explored nutritional deficiencies. Your brain needs specific nutrients to function well, particularly B12, vitamin D, and omega-3 fatty acids. Proper nutrition and hydration are fundamental to good memory. And finally, we talked about social isolation and lack of mental stimulation. Your brain thrives on connection and challenge. When you stay socially engaged and mentally active, you're protecting your memory. Here's the really important part. These causes are often reversible. That means you have power here. You have the ability to make changes that can improve your memory and protect your brain health. You don't have to tackle everything at once. Pick one area to focus on first. Maybe you'll start with improving your sleep. Or perhaps you'll schedule that medication review. Maybe you'll join a club or start learning something new. Small steps lead to big changes. Every positive choice you make for your brain health matters. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope you found this information helpful and empowering. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more people who could benefit from this information. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Ambition Focus and hit that notification bell. We're dedicated to bringing you practical science-based health information that can make a real difference in your life. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you noticed any of these hidden causes affecting your memory? What strategies have worked for you? Your experience could help someone else, so please share. Remember, your brain is remarkably resilient. At any age, you can take steps to protect and even improve your memory. You're not powerless in this. You have more control than you think. Take care of your brain. It's the only one you've got. And it's capable of amazing things when you give it what it needs. Until next time, stay healthy, stay curious, and keep that wonderful brain of yours active and engaged. This is Ambition Focus, reminding you that it's never too late to invest in your brain health.